So we just saw Thomas Point Lighthouse, nice and up close, and now we're gonna head into Road River to find a nice, safe anchorage for the night. Might take us a little while because, again, no wind whatsoever, and we're motoring just the tiniest bit so as not to use up all of our battery.
When we say hardly use the motor, we mean hardly. So right now, the electric motor, we're drawing 7 amps, which is about a third of a horsepower. So at this speed, we usually motor along at about 1.5 knots, and we have a really long runtime. So this lets us motor for usually like 20 hours straight if we were to actually motor for that long, and it doesn't kill the battery bank. So we move along very slowly, but we can go for a long time, so it makes the most of our battery.
But it's worth it right now because we would be going nowhere. And we're right in the middle of the bay. So we're just gonna see where we get tonight and make some dinner. It's gonna be great, and that was well worth it. Since there is no wind right now, I can go ahead and make dinner. So, just making pasta and sauce, nothing special. You can hear in the background the sound of the motor. It kind of sounds, it's like less than a hairdryer, which is one of the things we love about our electric motor. There is no sound, basically. It's awesome. And here we are. It's 6 o'clock. We're having some pasta for dinner. And it looks pretty good.
What do you think about windless days on the Chesapeake? Do you like them? Does anybody like them?
The boredom, which will make you collapse. None can resist the pull of the boredom.
I'm gonna continue reading now. We're still on the Dresden Files because we didn't read it all while we were anchored out. It's kind of a sailing thing. So, we will continue.
Those little bubbles that go by are the only thing that let you know you're still moving. There's no bubbles now. Are we moving?
Okay.
Are we? This is one of those little annoyances you'll come across in the bay. There's a marker outside saying that there are no floats in the channel allowed, that it's a float-free channel. And you can see the green buoy off in the distance, and it's a line of floats running across the channel. We're entering the harbor, so the green buoys go on your left and the red buoys go on your right. So this is definitely in the channel.
Once we got through that little patch, it seemed to be all clear and no more crab pots. So we continued motoring on as the sun was setting, and it was a full moon that night, so we decided we'll just keep going on as long as we can until we finally get to the anchorage. You can see it's just totally calm. It's a beautiful sunset.
After a very long sail, we made it. We anchored. I took Morty to shore.
It was more of a motor than a sail.
It was more of a motoring to get here than a sailing to get here. So now we're here. And I took Morty to this really cool beach that we're going to explore tomorrow. And it was like super sandy and just... It was a tiny little mini island of wonders in this little bay. It was the coolest thing ever.
When you're as pale as we are, it's very important before you go out to put on sunscreen. Here I have SPF 70, and I know I've heard that after 32 it doesn't make a difference, or 35, but no taking chances. 70 feels like rubbing on cream cheese, but it's worth it. And it's my life. It's time to explore. We woke up in beautiful Road River, and now we are ready to go to our first island.
Yep. And we set the solar panels on the foredeck where they get all the sun and no shading. Because we need to charge as much as we can. So
Yeah,
right now,
we used up a lot of our charge yesterday getting here. All right, off we go.
yep. Cody, come on.
Island number 1 is the smallest island.
Well, no, actually.
Just kidding.
So there's supposed to be 3 islands. This one behind, or dead ahead of us, is the second largest. The smallest one is over there somewhere. I think it's underwater.
Yeah, we think it might be underwater.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of islands that our charts say are still there, that are like they've been gone for decades, but yet they still call them islands. My favorite is Sharp Island. Not there.
Yeah.
And the area sunk so much, the lighthouse actually tipped because it started sinking.
Yes.
Fun fact, if you have a dog that you need to take to shore, there's some laws you need to know about. So in Maryland, the law is that tidal waters, so at low tide, the land that's exposed is considered public land even if it butts up to private property. The private property line starts at the high tide mark. So you are technically allowed to walk your dog on the tidal plane. In Virginia, the property line is marked at the low tide mark. So you would be trespassing if you come on a beach at low tide.
Tiny little island, but lots of trees.
Yeah, when we were coming in last night, we just saw the silhouette of the trees against the night sky.
It looked very eerie.
Yeah. So ospreys like to build a nest on dead trees that overhang water, which is why it's so hard for them to find a suitable spot to nest, and why the Natural Resources has set up all their buoys to allow ospreys to nest on them, because it is exactly what they want, a dead tree over water. And that makes them happy. So the ospreys were actually very endangered, and since they've started doing that, where they let them nest on the day markers, they've their population's been booming again.
Morty found some socks. Very odd. Looks like they're trying to protect these grasses here. Morty will not go into those.
So, previously we talked about being green and all, and I started it by saying that we did not set out to be green hippies, and we aren't. It's just a lot of things we do tend to look that way. But the one big environmental thing that is a pet peeve of mine is plastics. So they got this marked off so people don't walk on the grass, and that way it doesn't get trampled, and then you don't get as much erosion, which is great. But they're using plastic markers in the sun, and they're just like falling down onto the ground, and they're gonna get swept out to sea, and then they're gonna add to the giant trash gyres that are out in the ocean. So that is a pet peeve of mine.
He's so happy to be running again. Yeah, Morty! Yeah! Good boy!
So we get some more.
Morty! This is pretty cool. Little beach peninsula. Yeah, Morty. He's so happy. A dead crab.
This water is so clear, you can see a little dead crab, or it's that tiny little white speck.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're not used to clear water in the Chesapeake.
No, and it's so warm. Wow, this is gorgeous out here.
so clear I can see my feet while I walk. They don't disappear. So there's an issue on this island of it eroding away, and actually this whole bay here, up to that point, it used to be land and it's just eroded away. And you can see a process of the erosion. This tree's actually lost all its footing and has fallen over, which then further speeds up the process of erosion.
There's a little path. We're gonna walk it. Wanna go first for spiders?
Yes, I will protect the spiders. We are brave explorers of this new island.
That happens to have a footpath already in it.
There's lots of spiders here.
Something out of a horror film.
And this one caught a big cicada.
Nature. Herbie's decided he wants to save this cicada's life.
Yes.
If that cicada comes at me, I'm gonna die.
Up, up, up.
Oh, it's still stuck.
Yes, I know. I only had one thread left and he started going. There he goes.
Alright. Suddenly Morty is tired.
Such is the wonder of the wild forest corgi.
This place is like that curse from Sleeping Beauty with all the thorns. It's almost as if people aren't supposed to be walking through here. Nature is rebelling. Made it. Alright, Morty. What do you propose? Okay, good. Good plan. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Morty!
So now Morty's turn.
Why didn't we come that way?
I didn't know about it. I didn't look at it.
Oh.
Morty!
Yay, good boy!
Yay, Morty!
Yay!
So we don't want to do that again. So we're going to wade around the island and get back to the dinghy.
Not sure this is such a good idea.
No.
We don't know how deep it is, and we just spotted a couple jellyfish.
Yeah, I think we're going to go back into the island. Oh, you can see there's quite a tide. It's low tide now. It's all the way down here. You can see the high tide mark on this tree up here. That's a good amount. Morty, scoot.
Scoop. Back. Thank you.
No problem. Now we just have this thorny mess to go through.
Big spider web.
Can you hold this one?
What if we just run through?
Sure.
No, just kidding. I don't want. I have regrets. Morty! You sure that's the way?
Nope, but I really strongly believe it is.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yes.
Ah, a clearing. So we thought this was a trail, and it looks like it kind of is, but it's also kind of overgrown, and I don't think we were really meant to be on it. But what's done is done. So, we just gotta get back. There's really random stuff here. We found underwear and a comb and a grill.
Yeah. Yeah, now the grill is special because it's new and clean, and there's tons of charcoal briquettes thrown around it that are freshly thrown. So, I guess they figure since few people come here, they can just leave their grill and have their private barbecue island.
Many questions have been raised.
Yes.
go. Yay, here we are. We made it.
Here is a relatively new and clean Weber grill. Just out here on the island. So someone obviously comes here a lot to grill. And thrown on the beach here, what look like little pebbles are actually charcoal briquettes. And they're in a tidal area and they're completely uncovered by sand, so that means that they've been recently thrown here. Morty, out of the water. Come on.
Come on. Good boy. You stay out of the water.
Let's hop in.
Get in the boat, boy.
Up,
Time
up.
to go.
Up. Good boy.
This time on Sailing Wisdom, we explore a gorgeous large island of forest, and we sail to West River for a delicious meal. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to become a sailing buddy, you can click the link down below to our Patreon account.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And when you click subscribe, make sure you click on the little bell in the annotation. That way you get notifications as soon as our next video is uploaded.
Thanks so much!